All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the day that the Lord has made, and we're going to rejoice and be glad in it. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that are coming on, please do me a favor. Hit that like button, hit that share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know Ramon Preston, the squad, and the Ramon Preston Show. We're live right here in his house from the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta for another edition of the Ramon Preston Show. This is where you get the game. This is where we give you all the details that you need to properly start, structure, and scale your businesses, ministries, income streams, and wealth building dreams. Do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that share button, tag somebody, especially the somebodies that you know who need to get their cash flow up, the somebodies that you know who need to get their business together, especially the somebodies that you know who are doing ministry, nonprofit work, community service, and they need to structure an organization to reflect the integrity that they represent. All right? Tag them, share this video with them, and let them know we talking about cash flow, and we're tying this cash flow into the overall objective of what all of us want to do, and that is we all want to experience freedom. We all want to establish a legacy. We all want to see wealth in our lives. And it's going to start with cash flow. All right. Welcome to the Ramon Preston Show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Hey, listen, before we get started, few things I want to cover real quickly. Kind of like, the housekeeping rules. Would you please put in the comments what city you're watching from or what city you're representing. We get both. Sometimes we get people put the cities that they're watching us from, even if it's not the cities that they're representing. But I would love to know what city you're watching from, what city you're representing. Shout out to all of our tribe members, our business community members. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All of you that are subscribed to our YouTube page, thank you so much. I think right now we have over 5,200 subscribers. That's 5,200 subscribers on YouTube. And we appreciate all of you. Thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for continuing to support our YouTube channel. It is by far the most popular, the most engaged channel that we have on social media, second is Facebook, and I think the next one would be Instagram, and then LinkedIn. We even got some TikTok followers. So please let us know what city you're watching us from. We want to give a shout out to all of you who are continuing to support our channel. You're continuing to support our show. We were just talking this morning, and a few things that one of my team members was telling me. She was telling me that, number one, your YouTube channel is popping, baby. Your YouTube channel is grinding. And she was also telling me that we have, how many videos we have on there? We have over 700 videos, on YouTube. A lot of those videos, y'all, are on starting and structuring a holding company, financial literacy, business ownership, real estate investing. I mean, that's a lot of content. And we're continuing to drop new content on there. Like literally every day, a new video goes up on YouTube, whether it's from the Ramon Preston Show or some other version of video content that we create. So I want you to use that to your advantage. Take advantage. She was telling me earlier, she was like, listen, all anybody has to do is just go to YouTube and just like binge watch and listen to your videos. They're like getting a university right there. So if we have that much content on a social media platform, can you imagine? Maybe you can't imagine, but can you imagine how powerful it is when you are literally in our business community, in our ecosystem, whether you are a coaching client or a member of our university training platform. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. I'm your host. Every Monday through Friday, we share information with you that is strategically and specifically designed to help you properly start, structure, and scale your businesses, your ministries, your income streams, and your wealth building dreams. And so this week, our theme, if there was a theme, our theme is on cash flow. We hear people say it all the time that cash is king, but wealthy people understand that cash is not king, cash flow is king. And so a lot of the things that I share with you, a lot of the content that I provide, a lot of the training and educating that I do, not just on social media and through our show, but even through our programs and our coaching and our consulting, a lot of that information, a lot of that data, a lot of that training and content, it is coming from the world of wealth building. Okay, it's not coming from just the average person who's finding information, who's gathering it, and who's sharing it. So when you think about cash flow, I want you to understand that cash flow is king. Okay, cash flow is king. And today I want to continue this discussion on this theme of cash flow so that you can get a good grip of what cash flow is, how cash flow works, and how important it is for you to build your economic life around this concept, this idea, this word called cash flow. So first and foremost, cash flow is king. All right. Everything else is secondary to cash flow, meaning that anything else outside of cash flow, whether it's your credit, whether it's debt, whether it's a job, whether it's trying to figure out new ways to get creative with products and services. Listen, cash flow is king. If you want to establish a solid financial foundation for your life, if you want financial freedom, if you want to be a millionaire, if you want to be rich, wealthy, if you want to create a legacy economically, you're gonna have to understand the power of cash flow. And so today I want to dig back into this discussion and talk to you about the 5 levels of cash flow. I started sharing that with you yesterday, and my biggest point to you was that there are levels to this. There are levels to this, but you can't get to the next level if you don't understand your now level when it comes to money, when it comes to cash, when it comes to cash flow, when it comes to business, when it comes to financial freedom. You got to understand where you at and what you have at your disposal, the tools that you have, the economic tools that you have in order to get to where you want to be. So we're going to talk about the 5 levels of cash flow. Okay. Now, if you don't remember, let me remind you what those 5 levels are. I told you yesterday that there are 5 levels of cash flow. The first level is income. Okay. The second level is cash. The third level is cash flow. The fourth level is a cash flow plan. And then the 5th level is a cash flow cycle. I mean, literally, if you just dissected each of those 5 levels of cash flow and really understood the mechanics behind those 5 levels and the principles and practices behind those 5 levels, like you could put yourself in a situation financially that it will set you up for success forever. Literally, like I live by those 5 levels. And again, you see those 5 levels in different ways, but I'm simplifying it so that you can see cash flow is king. And if cash flow is king, that means cash flow needs to be central to what you want to do in your economic life. Cash flow should be the most important thing you think about when you're focusing on starting a business, creating a career for yourself, or growing as a professional, or maybe getting into some type of nonprofit work. You still got to think about this thing called cash flow, because the success of whatever you do economically is going to hang on the hinges of this thing called cash flow. All right. So we're going to talk about these 5 levels of cash flow. All right. So the first level, we talked about it yesterday, is what? Income. Why is income the first level of cash flow? Because you're not going to get to level 5 of having a cash flow cycle, or level 4, having a cash flow plan, or level 3, having cash flow, or level 2, having cash, if you don't get a grip of your number 1 wealth building tool, and that is your income. I just don't understand why people can't wrap their minds around the fact that their income is their number 1 wealth building tool. Okay, so I want you to think about that, and you might need to repeat that to yourself a few times. My income is by far my number 1 wealth building tool. So if you want to build wealth, okay, if you want to be wealthy, if we were in a classroom, I would say, by the show of hands, let me know who wants to be wealthy in here. Everybody will probably lift up their hands. By a show of hands, how many of y'all want to be rich? How many of y'all want to be millionaires? How many of y'all want to be financially free? How many of y'all don't want to be tied up in debt and having bad credit and no money? How many of y'all in here that wants that kind of freedom? I guarantee everybody will lift up their hands, and the ones who don't, lying. They're just trying to put on. Everybody wants to be financially free. Everybody wants to do better. So how do you start the process? With the first level of cash flow, which is your income. Well, Ramon, you just don't know how much money I bring in and how little money I have, and you just don't understand how much debt I got, and my credit score tore up from the floor up. All those excuses, the bottom line is, even until you are able to get a grip of your debt, even until you're able to get a grip of your credit, even until you're able to get a grip of new ways to increase your income, you have to get a grip of your current income. How much money are you making every month right now? You should know that dollar amount, okay? Because that's the first thing we want to look at. Like if you called my office and said, I need to hire you as my coach or my consultant. I need your company, Ramon, to work with me in my personal financial situation or my business situation. The first thing that I'm going to do is sit you down and say, let's take a look at, guess what? Your income. I'm not going to ask you what your credit score is, because to be honest with you, I don't care. I'm not going to ask you how much debt you're in, not off the top. I'm not going to ask you what kind of job you got. I really don't care about that. What is your income currently? So I don't care if it's a fixed income. I don't care if it's income from a salary or from an hourly job. One of the things that I appreciate about what we provide on the show, this is kind of like a side note. I'll get back to the income, okay? But yesterday when I was that yesterday we had that consultation when I was on the phone? Yeah, that was yesterday. Mm-hmm. It was like a random consultation. Right. I just kind of threw myself into a consultation with a potential client, with hopefully a future client. But anyway, I'm on the phone with the gentleman, and the gentleman basically was saying to me in no uncertain terms what he appreciates most about how I teach and share information. He was saying what he appreciates the most is that I make it simple for people who are just at the bottom. So he was like, you don't have to be like doing good to get in on the information you sharing. He said you could actually be broke at the bottom or just making like $7 or $8 an hour and utilize your principles. You know why? Because the first level, okay, let's say if success was 5 levels in terms of this conversation. Well, the first level still going to begin with, guess what? your income, because you got to get a grip of your income. Now, you might not have enough income coming in, okay? But before we start looking for new ways to create new income, we at least need to get a grip of your current income. Like my team will tell you, like if the camera was turned to one of my team members and they needed to give an explanation to that, how many times have y'all seen us sit down with a client, go through the whole scenario? When we get to their income, even if it's them on a job, the first thing we do is start dissecting their income and saying, how much money you making and where's that money going? A lot of times, most of them don't see their income in their net that they see in their gross. Mm-hmm. So we look at that. We see, okay, is your gross high and your net low, and why is it? Is it money being taken out? This is taking control of your income. Even the IRS and most financial experts will all unanimously tell you that the average person who works, we're talking about like 8 out of 10 people who work a job, a W-2 job, pay too much in taxes. That's a fact. And here's another statistic you might want to think about. This is a real statistic. 8 out of 10 Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Think about that, y'all. 8 out of 10 people in the United States of America are living paycheck to paycheck. So it means they're working, they're making income, and one thing will be, okay, they're not making enough income, but even before we get to that not making enough income, we got to think about, are they controlling the little income they are making? So that's like scaling it or peeling it all the way back to like the marrow. Like, what am I doing with the income that I'm making? Am I putting the control of my income in the hands of other people? So let's say, for example, you got your gross income. If you're a W-2 employee, well, your gross income is going to be one form of income, and then your net income is going to be another form. But think about all the stuff in between that's taking your money even before you get your net. I know people who make a certain amount of money in their gross, and then the number that they make in their net is like night and day. You know why? Because somebody else is controlling the narrative of their income. Now, some of those things you can't change. You might not be able to change Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare. You might not be able to change state taxes, but your federal income tax you can. Maybe some of your retirement you can, depending on what type of financial plan you have. So if you just letting your employer bang out federal taxes, bang out insurance plans, bang out retirement plans and 401ks, you letting them bang all that out and you don't even have a financial plan. This is why you got to get control of your what? Your income. Because at least if you're in control of it, because you're able to put a plan together that fits what you want to do with your life, you can decide who gets what when it comes to your income. Because a lot of times what people do is, we're talking about like the average person, 8 out of 10 of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. But almost all of these 8 out of 10 people, they're making income, but they're not controlling it. Somebody else is controlling it. And what they think they should be doing is, oh, I need a credit card. Oh, I need to get more debt. Oh, I need a loan. Or here's another great idea. I need another job. So now I need to go find another job that's going to take taxes out, that's going to penalize me, and then take more of my time. And I'm still not in control of my number one wealth building tool, which is income. And so if you represent 8 out of 10 of Americans, I'm telling you where it needs to start at. It needs to start with not you trying to find a second job. It may not even need to start with you trying to start another business if you are not in control of your income on your job. Why are you going to go try to start another business and you ain't even got control of your income on your job? See, this part, a lot of people, even who participate in our blueprint game plan, this is the part a lot of people miss because they so focused on, oh, I need to start a business. Well, no, you don't. You need to get control of your income. That's what you need to get control of. Because if you can't tell me, like in math, in mathematical numbers, if you can't tell me, and better yet, show me where 100% of the income you got coming in is going, and be able to numerically, mathematically show me the percentages of what's going where, you are not in control of your income. So if you do get another job, if you do start a side hustle, you're still gonna probably be struggling. I know plenty of people who got jobs, 1 or 2 jobs, and they got businesses on the side. And they got network marketing side hustles, and they still living paycheck to paycheck. You know why? Because they're in control of everything else except what? Their income. Ladies and gentlemen, that should be the golden rule for you. That should be like the golden rule for everybody. Finance 101, wealth building 101. If there's one thing I need to get control of in the world of cash flow, it is what? My income. That's what I need to get control of. I need to get control of my income. Why do you think after all these PPP loans, after all these SBA loans, after all of these stimulus checks, that the statistics are still the same? 8 out of 10 Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 8 out of 10 Americans don't even have $500 saved in a savings account that they don't have to touch from one pay period to the next. You know why? Because they're not in control of their income. It's simple as that. So the first layer of cash flow, a level of cash flow, is income. You got to get control of your income. Now, why is that important to the other 4 levels? Because the second level is cash. Cash, I talked about that yesterday for a few minutes. Cash is different from income because cash should be classified as the liquid form of income that you produce once you get control of your income. So for example, some people may say, all right, I'm gonna get control of my income. I'm gonna figure out how much money I bring in and where all my money is going. Well, once you do that, now you got to put a squeeze on that income to figure out how much low-hanging fruit of income can I pull from the tree of my money, from the tree of my income, and liquidate or hold in the form of cash that I don't have to give away. And sometimes, depending on what your financial plan is or your business plan is, sometimes that may mean you have to pause. If you're working on a job, you have to pause or indefinitely stop letting all your withholdings, federal tax withholdings, be taken out. That may mean you have to readjust your W-4 form to bring that money back to your net pay. It may mean that you're not contributing to a retirement plan. You know why? Because you have to put a financial plan in your personal life in place even before you try to put this retirement plan. Like, we let everybody make these decisions for us and we around here struggling. I have documented proof. I'm not going to show you because I don't want information to be known, but I got documented proof. I got people that I have consulted personally who were sitting home trying to start a business. They didn't have a job, broke. They had no money. They didn't have a pot to put it in or a window to throw it out. And once we went through this process that I'm talking about right now, just with regard to their income, we were able to find that they had money in other retirement accounts, like we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars, sitting out there, but they home trying to start a business and they broke. Okay, so you're going to wait another, and these are people that might have been in their 40s, let's say. So they wasn't going to be able to get some of this money in their retirement plans for another 20 years or something. So what you going to do, sit around and struggle and be broke for 20 years? Or are you going to put a solid financial plan that includes your business and make a decision on, do I just get penalized and take my money from my retirement plan and invest some of my money? Well, if you understand these 5 levels, you get what I'm saying. So you got income, then your income has to be squeezed until you can create cash. So if you have all these retirement accounts, if you got all this cryptocurrency, because people get on my nerves, they always coming up with lame excuses. I got this, I got that, I got stocks, I got bonds. How much of that money you got on paper, this fake money that you got on paper, is liquid? How much of it is liquid? In other words, can you go cash all that in and pull liquid cash out? Because if it's not sitting in a bank account, now we don't want it to stay in a bank account forever, because it's not even valuable. Okay, inflation is going to eat it up, but at least it's liquid, meaning that you can control the narrative of it. So you don't impress me if you tell me, oh, I got $67,000. I'm just making up numbers. I ain't putting nobody on Front Street. I'm just saying, you ain't impressing me because you say I got $15,000 of stocks. I got $28,000 worth of Bitcoin. I got $30,000 worth of crypto. And I'm not hating on you. You do what you want to do. But what I am saying is, if you total the value of all those stocks and bonds and all that stuff up, whatever you got, CDs or whatever it is, if you total it all up, you do not have that amount in a bank account liquid in cash. That's my point. Now, if you do have liquid cash plus that, then you're pretty good then. You have control of your income. I'm talking about the people who don't have control of their income and they're trying to skip certain steps to get to financial freedom. You can't get to financial freedom and skip those steps. Trust me, I tried it so many different ways. I just knew I had enough game to finesse my way in the system to get to financial freedom. It's not true, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have to go through those steps. You're going to have to take those layers into consideration. So we have income and then we have cash. So once you get control of your income, then you can take control of your cash. Now you can see how much liquid cash. Now, why do you want liquid cash? Why do you want liquid cash? Because when I have liquid cash, it can take me to the third level of cash flow, which is the word cash flow. What is cash flow? Well, cash flow can be defined in different ways. Okay, let me give you one definition of cash flow. Cash flow is what's left after your income and expenses. Okay, that's one version of cash flow. What's left after income and expenses. So you have income coming in, you have expenses that go out, and that's in most cases considered cash flow. I like to call that cash because it's really not cash flow. You know why? What makes cash flow is the fact that you're able to take liquid cash, think about it, and actually put it in a what? In a flow. If it's going to be called cash flow, cash is not cash flow. So if I have a certain amount of money sitting in the bank right now, like in a checking account or a savings account, that I can go to the bank and I can withdraw it, or I can go to the ATM and pull it out. That's not cash flow. Even though one of the definitions of cash flow is what's left after income and expenses, but it's not really cash flow. You know why? It's cash because it's liquid forms of income, but it's not cash flow until I'm able to take the cash and do what with it? Put the cash in a flow. So for all of you that have cash sitting in the bank, cash sitting in a shoebox, cash sitting in your Rolex that you think is cash, cash sitting in, designer clothes, none of that is cash. Okay, none of that is cash flow. All of that, some of it is cash, but a lot of that is not cash flow. It's cash flow when you're able to take the liquid cash and actually put it in something that can start flowing, moving, like actually progressing. So now when you get to cash flow, you got to think about, where do I put cash flow? How many of y'all know, just off the top, put it in the comments, if you understand income and you understand cash, and now we're at cash flow, where should that cash flow go? If cash flow is cash that needs to be put in a flow, what type of flow am I talking about? Anybody know? Anybody want to take a wild guess of what I'm talking about? Man, I had to learn this stuff, y'all, and I'm telling you, it's a discipline, it's a skill, It's like, it's education, it's training. That's why I use the word training, because even though we educate people, more importantly, we train people. Because if you're not being trained, you're not winning. If all I did was educate people, they just full of information, but they ain't doing nothing. It means they wasn't trained. So anybody knows? Does anybody know what are the flows your cash should go into in order to qualify it as cash flow? Does anybody know that? Oh, that's good. Somebody, Rabino on YouTube said a money-making vehicle. Absolutely. So now, what is a money-making vehicle? Let me give you a couple examples of what a money-making vehicle or what a flow would be for your cash. Bada bing, bada boom. Ta-da! Guess what? Yourself. And I'm not talking about in how you dress. I'm not talking about the kind of shoes you wear. I'm not talking about designer belts. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about bags. I'm not talking about the car you drive. I'm not talking about the house you live in. The first flow you should be dropping your cash in. This is why most people, like I talk to people almost every day, and I hear all these lame excuses. I'm just the one to tell you the truth that you ask me. We hear lame excuses every day. And if you're one of the people who give us lame excuses, I'm just calling you out. So when I'm on the phone with you and we calling you or you calling us or we texting each other back and you talk to me or one of my team members and you like, I ain't ready for that coaching stuff yet. And you sound stupid. What you're saying is, number one, if you have cash, you probably don't. But if you do have it, you don't understand where that cash can actually go in order for that cash to flow. That cash needs to flow. Even the Bible, y'all, all you scripture readers, all you believers, even the Bible in the book of Ecclesiastes says, cast your bread upon the waters. In other words, when there's something you have that you value, but there's something more you don't have that you value more than what you have, take what you have and do what with it? Cast it in the water. Why should you cast it in the water? Not in a dump, not in the toilet. Cast it in the water, because the idea behind casting it in the water is that at some point, the rivers are going to come back around and it will produce a flow for you. That's why money is called currency. Money is called currency because money is designed to flow. It's designed for you to get it in the form of liquid cash. Well, first you get it in income. You got to work, you got to grind, you got to get out there and make income. Then you live on as little as possible and you take what's left in the form of liquid cash and you dump it all in a flow. Oh my God, if people could just understand that one point. Me and my wife, I'm telling y'all, we do this like religiously. Me and my wife, we'll make income. We'll live on as little as we have to. And then we're going to take the rest, and guess what we're going to do? We ain't going to just be sitting on it. We ain't going to just throw it away. But we're going to put it in rivers that flow. We're going to put it in investing opportunities. Number one, we're going to put it in ourselves, not on ourselves. Okay? We're not going to put it on ourselves. We're going to put it in ourselves. We're going to invest. Like I just told y'all, like I've been talking about it for the last couple months. When we decided to launch this 1-year business coaching program, one of the first things I told my team was, I'm not going to launch a coaching program because I really didn't want to do the coaching. I like the consulting side of my business. But my team was like, you got to do it. People need you. More people need you than just businesses or real estate investors and developers or whatever. We need you to be on the front line as a coach for all of the solopreneurs and small business owners and career professionals who want to move into entrepreneurship. I was like, okay, I'm going to do a coaching program. Right? So once I decided that I was going to commit to doing it, one of the first things I told them was, our company is going to have to join some coaching or mentoring program to validate what we're doing. Because I'm just not the kind of person to be sitting in front of no camera telling people every day, oh, you need a coach, and I ain't got no coach. That's just like people telling you, oh, you need a leader, but they want to be your leader, but they don't have a leader. You know what I mean? Like, come on, you need what you want to become. And so we decided to join a coaching program, a high ticket, high level, high performing coaching mentoring program with a huge guru. And it was tens of thousands of dollars. But here's the thing. A lot of the training, a lot of the mentoring, a lot of the information that we get is in addition to that program. Meaning that a lot of times when I'm flying to Miami, going to an event, it might not even be an event that is a part of that particular program. It may be like a stream connected to that program that I just want to add on to get better information and to become a better version of me. So what I'm saying is, it ain't no one and done. You continue to drop that cash into the flow of you. You should be the first flow. You should be learning everything you need to learn to become financially free. You should be learning everything you need to learn. That's one of the reasons why every event that I participate in, I fly there. And most of the time I fly my wife. I told my team one of those big events, I'm gonna fly them and make sure that they can get there and be a part of one of those big events. All that costs money, but guess what I want to do? I want to put that cash into a flow. Because if I put that cash into my team, they are considered flows. So I'm paying for staff, I'm hiring people. Guess what? That's cash I'm putting into a flow. I'm going to be one of the flows. My team is going to be one of the flows. My business is going to be one of the flows. Marketing, advertising, equipment, infrastructure, all of that. You should be dumping everything you got into that. Like, what are you holding it back for? Do you want to stay stuck or do you want to move forward? You can't move forward until you put cash into a what? Into a flow. So the first level is income. Get a grip of that. Second level is cash. Liquidate it. All of you that got all this money sitting in stocks and retirement accounts and, oh my God, and you out here trying to start a business. You need to get your priorities right. And if you don't know what to do and you don't have a coach, or if you have a coach and what I'm giving you is not enough, well, you need to pay for more coaching. Like, you need to pay for more coaching. Like, you can join the coaching program and say, you know what? I want you to coach me once a week. Well, pay for it. And come show up and sit down every week if that's what you want to pay for. The coaching program that I'm a part of and the person who runs that program, I think they charge, what did I tell y'all? $25,000 for like a 30-minute session? Is it 25? $25,000 for a 30-minute coaching session. $25,000. Right now, outside of my coaching program, I provide consulting. Maybe you and your business needs consulting. But whatever it is, you need to do it. You need to get it to figure out how can I get where I need to go instead of sitting on a whole lot of doggone money that ain't doing you no good. And then there's some people not even sitting on cash. They're sitting on papers. They're sitting on digits that's showing them, oh, you got this much in this account and that much in that account. It ain't doing your business no good. It's backwards. It's backwards, y'all. You shouldn't do that. As a matter of fact, the people who are taking all that money from you, they're building businesses, because you know what they're doing? They're getting rid of that money. Every time you give that money to these institutions, they get rid of it. And I'm not just talking about banks, okay? I want to have my money sitting in the bank in the form of liquid cash until I'm able to find the flows to put it in. All right? I'm not going to put that money in flows that look like they doing something for me, but it's only going to show up in like 30 years or 25 years. No. I hear people say that all the time. Like, I'm at, like, for the last couple of years, my wife and I, once we decided to get out of like the residential side of real estate We do very little residential real estate. Most of the time, my wife is doing it for the members of her church or, family members and stuff. But when we decided to get out of that, we was like, listen, we're going to get into commercial real estate, because that's where a lot of our money was coming from, not as owners of commercial real estate, but we were participating in certain, like profit sharing partnerships where we were getting a little piece, a few crumbs off the pie. But we wasn't the ones owning it. We wasn't the ones doing all that. We were just in that ecosystem, and we saw how it was working, and we was like, we definitely got to get into commercial real estate. But because of how big of a ticket it is and how expensive it is and how much money and net worth and, oh my God, how big of a deal it is, we knew we weren't going to just like keep hoarding cash and giving our business like a headache waiting for some windfall. What we decided we was going to do was we was going to take all of our free cash and just dump it all back in our business, instead of holding it like waiting for one day when we could do this one big commercial real estate deal. Well, while we're waiting on that, we're going to keep recycling that cash, dropping it right back in our business. So that's why I guess we got 4.5, because Moan's still like a half. We trying to get him back at 5, right? So let's say we got 4.5 staff members, right? Well, I wanted to be 45. I would love to get to the end of this year and we got 45 staff members. That would be big, because what that's telling me is you're doing the right thing with your money. You're putting your cash back into a flow and you're moving forward. You're moving yourself, your team, and your organization forward. So my point in bringing that up was your cash flow needs to be put in yourself. You need to educate yourself, and if you're not educating yourself enough, then you need to put more money into yourself. You need to invest more money. Like I said, I joined the coaching program for our company. Me and my team, we train almost every day.
Yeah.
Today we didn't. We put the training to work today, right?
Yes.
We've been working this week like, oh my God, we've been grinding this week. But my point is, with the exception of certain days when we just got to jump in head first when we come into the office and don't get a breather, we are moving, we're training. But in order for us to have new information to train, I got to find new information in that ecosystem. So if I'm a part of a coaching program like we are, and there are other areas like real estate and other things that I know, okay, we need more training in this, we need more training in that. It's like walking into a store. I go into the store. If we bought aisle 8, because we're feeding off aisle 8, I'm like, okay, what's on aisle 6 we need? I'm gonna buy some stuff off aisle 6. I'm gonna go in the back in the frozen department, the fresh fruits and veggies. I'm gonna buy some of that. It's the same checkout line. It makes it easier because it's a world of information that we're getting. So we have income, we got cash, and then we got cash flow, right? And once you get into the cash flow, meaning that you have enough liquid income called cash that you're now ready to put into a flow, put it in yourself. Get good at what you want to be, all right? You want to be a CEO? Learn to be a CEO. Get better at it. Pay to get around. Pay. Like, this is a hard part for church people to understand, especially Christians, church people, man. It's like they feel like sometimes church people feel like they doing God a disservice because they're paying to be in certain rooms. Oh, I ain't got to pay to be in no room. God gonna put me in the room. Well, you just sit your behind outside then and wait for that to happen. Because maybe God is like, hey, I'm giving you the resources to get in the room. The only difference between you being in the room and you not being in the room is some cash you got sitting in the bank account. That's ridiculous. So you're going to hold on to the cash, right? And then you're going to say, well, I know God going to put me in that room. No, boo. No, dog. Get that cash and get in the room. Get in the room. Sometimes you got to pay to play. And you should be willing to pay to play. You want to be a boss, don't you? Period. So you got cash flow, so you want to put cash into the flow of you, and then you want to put cash into the flow of your business. And don't be around here goofing off thinking, oh, well, I'm going to take this $5,000 and I'm going to go buy some stocks with it and I'm going to get a 10% return. What is the return if you put $5,000 into your business, or if you put $5,000 into yourself? I would rather, like, I brought up the real estate thing because me and my wife knew we'd rather take 10,000 or 20,000 or 30,000 or 40 or 50,000 and put it into ourselves and our business than to send 50,000 to the stock market, or go buy like a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house and rent it out for like $1,000 a month and get calls every other month that they can't pay the rent, they behind, they late, and now we got 50 grand tied into a doggone house that we can't get paid. We gotta take them to court. No, I could put that 50 grand in my business and turn it into 500 grand if I'm willing to put in the work and learn and become better. That's the second flow. That's the second flow. The first flow is yourself. The first flow is yourself. So if you don't know enough, that's one of the reasons why. I said it to a young man yesterday over the phone. And here's the statement I made to him. The only thing that separates you from where you are right now financially, from where you are right now in your business, and all you church people, from where you are right now in your church, in your ministry, in your nonprofit, listen to me when I say this. I have been a preacher, a prophet, an apostle, a minister long enough to know what I'm talking about. The only thing that separates you from where you are in your money, in your ministry, in your business, and where you want to be is information. You better believe what I'm saying. Because I know you got this warped belief that, oh, well, no, I just know favor going to hit my life one day and God going to just blow it up. All right, well, just keep waiting. But don't blame God 18 years from now when it don't happen and you like, well, the Holy Ghost must have missed it, or maybe God was testing me. No, you had resources that you did not utilize to move further, to move forward. Those resources were your money, your cash, your time, so that you could gather more information. Because I used to think that when I first started as an entrepreneur, I'm talking about like, it's 2021. So I started my entrepreneurial journey, my real journey, 21 years ago. This was before me and my wife got married. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't want to work for nobody. I had the big head. I really wasn't arrogant. It was just like, man, I want to do what I want to be rich. I want to have something. And I was preaching too. And I was like, yeah, definitely not going to do it that way. Because it was, man, preaching and waiting for somebody to hear from God to give you an offering and all that. I was like, yeah, I'm not with that. I ain't got time for that. Some of you preachers know what I'm talking about. Man, you know, somebody, you hoping somebody sow a seed into you, and they don't never do it. And then, you know, I used to be around some church people, they'll tell you, yeah, I prayed about it. You know, God dealt with me about you and I was going to sow into you when I got paid. But, you know, the Lord just told me to wait. And I'm thinking, the Lord told you to wait, or did you tell the Lord to wait? You know what I'm saying? So I knew real quick that I wasn't going to be waiting on church people to take care of me. Number one. I was like, nah, that's not going to happen. Number two, I also knew that in order for me to be successful, I was going to have to figure out how to be responsible financially. And it took me a long time to figure this stuff out because I didn't have a coach. I didn't have a consultant. I didn't have what Ramon Preston and his company provides. I didn't have people who were in the faith community that were really pushing that. And so at least I didn't have them around me, or I didn't put myself around them. Whatever the case is, I didn't have it, right? But I understood that in order for me to actually succeed, I was going to have to get more information. I was going to have to learn some things. And so this is where you separate yourself from most people, because I thought like, oh man, God gonna open this big door for me, and somebody gonna recognize me, and somebody gonna put me on, and somebody gonna help me, and somebody just gonna see my heart. None of that happened, y'all. I'm being honest with you. I was in a conversation with somebody, maybe like a month or two ago, and you know, they were kind of like being like, what do you call it? Sarcastic. you know, they was kind of being sarcastic with me because I was like putting them in their place, telling them like, listen, you can't just randomly call me and think I'm going to help put you on and you ain't got your stuff together. I'm not doing it. I don't care how you feel about me. And one of the sarcastic comments that they made was, well, you had somebody to help you. You had somebody to put you on. And I was like, hold on, time out. I was like, first of all, nobody helped me and put me on from that perspective. Me and my wife struggle. Me and my wife knows what it is to not have money and to be behind in bills and to be in debt over our head and to not know how we're going to pay our rent and our car note 2-3 months behind, and we done already pushed 2 or 3 payments out to the end. We done did all that. We knew how that was. But I had to come to a place to where God was going to do it through me, not do everything for me. And when I came to that conclusion that, oh man, I'm around here waiting for God to do everything for me, and God want to do a lot of things through me. But what separates me from where I am to where I want to be is me getting more information, learning, committing myself to get that type of training so that I can be the next best version of myself. And so I'm gonna stop there because I know we got 3 more days this week. We're gonna talk about tomorrow. I'll probably talk about the 5 phases of a cash flow cycle. I mean, a cash flow plan, how to create a cash flow plan. And then maybe Thursday and Friday, we'll talk about cash flow cycles and pivoting into greater things for our business and other investments. But today we've covered income, cash, and cash flow. Those are the first 3 levels of cash flow. And when you get to cash flow, you gotta put cash in the flow of yourself. You gotta educate yourself. You got to get the right information, the right training. And I don't care what you say. Me and my team, I was telling y'all earlier, Tony was telling me, okay, you got over 700 videos on YouTube. She was like, you got a whole university on YouTube. But here's the thing. You're not going to be held accountable just jumping on and off Google and Wikipedia and YouTube and social media and jumping from one guru to the next guru, from one mogul to the next mogul, from one train of thought to the next. It's never going to work for you like that. Because number one, you're getting too much information and you're not getting trained. You're not being held accountable. You're not concentrating it in one form so that you can move forward in that flow. So for those of you who do not have a coach, you do not have the proper training for business and finances and how to really move yourself and your life forward, I want you to text the word coaching, because you really need a coach. I want you to text the word coaching. We have a 1-year business coaching program. We're going to close it soon because we have 2 or 3 other new programs that we're going to be introducing. But for now, we have a coaching program that gives you all the training you need. Like literally, whether you're at 0 or somewhere in between 0 and 100, anywhere you are in your business, your ministry, your income, your finances, your career, this one business coaching program, even if they should get this one program, will give you all the training and all the support that you need, because you're going to learn the most important aspects of financial literacy. You're going to learn about financial systems, personal and business. You're going to learn about sales and marketing. You're going to learn about holding companies. You're going to learn about nonprofit organizations. You're going to learn how to be a real CEO. We teach you all of that in this one business coaching program. We put this 1-year business coaching program together with everybody in mind, from 0 to 100, to show you how to actually properly start, structure, and scale your life, your business, your ministry, your income, so you can create wealth for you and for your family. I want you to text the word coaching. I'll be more than happy to take you through a few-minute assessment so that you can learn more about what our coaching program has, what the benefits are, what type of training we provide, what type of interaction we provide. It's a 52-week program. Like literally, there's something you can do every day in this program. We have an on-demand interactive platform that we give you access to for 1 year. You can literally access it from anywhere in the world, any device, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's an on-demand interactive platform. But in addition to that, we have workshops quarterly that we want to drop you in, whether in person or virtual. We have quarterly masterminds we want to drop you in person or virtual. And we have weekly coaching calls where we teach on certain principles like we did yesterday in our coaching call. And we give you an opportunity to ask questions. And in addition to that, guess what? We have a private Facebook group. We're building our own business community of faith-filled people who really want to do something great for themselves, their families, their churches, and their communities and their tribes. And we also provide a personal coaching coordinator. So you also have somebody that you can bounce questions off of. You can text throughout the week. You can call, email, and converse with if there's some things that you're dealing with. So please reach out to us. Text the word coaching so that we can help assess your personal, professional, and financial situation and show you what we have that can best fit that and help you get to your next level. Tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, we're going to continue this conversation on cash flow, showing you that cash flow is king and unpacking and literally dissecting the details of the 5 levels of cash flow. I love y'all. Appreciate all of you. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page, okay? Make sure if you're in our coaching program or if you're on our Blueprint Game Plan program that you visit Facebook and search for the RP Business Community. We want you to be a part of that exclusive private Facebook community. We are building a network. We want that to be a smorgasbord, a world of networking and relationships with amazing people, many of whom are in other places outside of Atlanta. They're in different states. We have people who participate in our online training program from other countries as well. But in our business coaching program, we have an awesome group of people, even in our Blueprint Game Plan program, our online version. So give us a call, text us, reach out to us. Someone said on YouTube, I don't remember what video it was, but you unlocked my mindset from that. We as people have the power. Great message as always. Thank you. He said, I think SK said, I agree, a mentor or coach is much needed in life. There's a lot of distractions out there. Lucretia, thank you as well. I appreciate you and Rubino. Apostle, Dr. Jerome, I see you on here. Blessings to you as well. I love all of y'all. Hope you enjoyed the show today. And let us know if there's anything we can do to support you or to help you. We're here for you. All right. Have an amazing day. Peace, 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 peace. To the Middle East. Bada bing, bada boom. Out.